for the State Law Office, 8.7 billion for the Office of the Auditor General. In addition, Mr. Speaker, to enhance the oversight and registration of the role of Parliament, I propose an allocation of Kenya shillings 44.6 billion for Parliament. To enable administration and justice, I propose an allocation of 24.7 billion for the Judiciary. This includes 900 million for construction and refurbishment of courts and 800 million for the automation of the Judiciary. Allocations to the county governments, Mr. Speaker, I turn to this. The county governments will receive a proposed allocation of 400.1 billion as equitable share in the financial year 2024-2025. It's for the first time that they have arrived to this figure of 400 and surpassed it in the last 12 years of devolution. As equitable share of financial year 2024-2025. And this is equivalent to 25.48% of the actual revenue raised nationally for the financial year 2020-2021, which is in compliance with Article 203, subsection 2 of the Constitution of Kenya. In addition to the equitable share of revenue, a further 44.4 billion has been proposed as additional allocation to county governments. This comprises of 8.76 billion for the national government share of revenue, Kenya shillings 35.66 billion from proceeds of external loans and grants for the external loans and grants. Equalization Fund, Mr. Speaker, we have proposed an allocation of 8 billion for the Equalization Fund, which is 0.5% of the actual revenue raised nationally in 2020-2021 reference year. Measures to enhance county government's own source revenue, Mr. Speaker, the National Treasury is implementing a policy to support the enhancement of own source revenue by county governments as we await the enactment of the National Rating Bill. This bill will enable the county governments to correct more property rates, including contribution in lieu of rates. In addition, Mr. Speaker, a multi-agency committee has been formed to manage the rollout of the proposed integrated county revenue management system in 47 county governments. This system will increase transparency, accountability, and efficiency in revenue collection. Let me turn now to taxation measures, Mr. Speaker. The policy measures to support the budget, the tax policy measures supporting the budget for the financial year 2024-2025 budget are very, very critical. In the course of this year, we embarked on tax policy review through a number of tax studies that will support the development of a progressive tax system. Mr. Speaker, the objective of these reforms is to develop an elaborate tax policy that will raise adequate revenue to finance recurrent as well as development budgets. For this to materialize, we intend to first to develop diverse methods to enlarge the tax base. Second, we want to make sure that we minimize tax expenditures that amount to Kenya shillings 396 billion, which is equivalent to 2.9% of GDP as of 2022. Of the Kenya shillings 396 billion, 63.1% of it is on VAT refunds alone on zero-rated final consumer goods. Third, we want to create a tax system that is not only predictable to taxpayers, but also yields predictable revenues to government. Fourth, we want to develop a tax system that supports markets, that supports production, consumption, and even investments. Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, the year 2024-2025 marks the beginning of these reforms through the proposed amendments in various tax laws contained in the Finance Bill 2024. Mr. Speaker, these reforms are part of a wider tax policy reforms contained in the medium-term revenue strategy, and I will shortly be providing highlights of these reforms. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, during the East African Community pre-budget consultations held in May 2024, the ministers responsible for finance and economic planning in the East African Community region agreed on customs measures that will support and protect industries in the region. Mr. Speaker, the tax measures proposed in the Finance Bill 2024 and the said custom measures are expected to generate an additional Kenya shillings 346.7 billion or 1.9% of GDP to the exchequer for the financial year 2024-2025. Let me start with custom duties. Mr. Speaker, allow me to provide highlights of some of the custom measures agreed during the pre-budget consultation with the East African Community partner states. Mr. Speaker, the ministers agreed on a number of measures for enhancing the competitiveness of locally manufactured products by allowing stays of application for the East African Community Common External Tariff, not to change the rates and where necessary, adopt